Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. We're here to help you discover legal issue blind spots by talking about the law on the radio. And today I'm trying to help you understand Proposition A, the proposed amendment to the San Antonio City Charter. And we have a caller. Anita, you're live on the air. Can you hear us? Tell us how you feel about Proposition A. I know I can hear the radio in the background there, so there's a slight delay, so maybe she's just trying to listen to the radio instead of the phone. But maybe she'll be able to call back a little bit later. So, how did it get on the ballot? Well, to amend the city's charter, the city council can propose amendments, or regular voting citizens can suggest things. So to amend the city's charter, 20,000 qualified voters of the city, or 5% of the number of qualified voters of a city more than 37,000, whichever is smaller, so 20,000 here in San Antonio, signs a petition. Then the city clerk has to certify that enough qualified voters signed it. And so that's what happened a while back. There was a meeting with the city council. And what was interesting to me is that during that meeting where the city council was going to vote on whether the petition was certified, some city council members walked out. Manny Peleas from District 8 said, "We're not going to be participating in a vote that puts an illegal item before the voters." He said, "I swore an oath to uphold the laws of Texas, the federal laws, and the Constitution, and this amendment does the opposite of that." What he's talking about there, I think, is that state law preempts municipal law. So if there's a state law on possession of marijuana, that law has to be enforced regardless of what the city of San Antonio says about enforcing possession of marijuana, or any of the other ones for not arresting somebody that has stolen something or stolen services or caused property damage to a business or a home. Those are governed by the Texas Penal Code, not San Antonio Municipal Charter. Another city councilman that walked out was John Courage from District 9. He said, "I felt like it," meaning this petition, doesn't adequately express to the public when they go to vote what they're actually voting for, and I have a real problem with putting a petition out there for people to vote on if they really won't understand all the implications. The third councilman that walked out was Clayton Perry. He's from District 10. He said, "The amendment breaks state law because it includes several subjects under one petition." And so if we go back to what the amendments were, creating a new position for a justice director, and then there were several eliminating police enforcement, a couple of police tactics that are banned, and allowing cite and release instead of arrest for several things. I guess what he's talking about is including not enforcing the abortion law in addition to cite and release for these other crimes. And the reason I think that is because there was a mandamus filed to the Texas Supreme Court to stop the city from putting this amendment on the ballot. And the reason was the same reason, that an amendment may not contain more than one subject. So the Texas Supreme Court decided that it should go ahead and be put on the ballot, and if it's passed, then you can challenge how it was put on the ballot. Is our caller back? Okay, we'll just keep going then. So the laws that govern how an amendment is supposed to be made is under section 9.004 of the Texas Local Government Code, which states the governing body shall submit a proposed charter amendment to the voters for their approval, or the voters can distribute a petition signed by a number of qualified voters of the municipality equal to at least 5%, which I said before. Okay, then section 9.004D says an amendment may not contain more than one subject. So I guess that's what's going to be debated if it passes, is whether there's all of these things fall under a common subject, or whether there's a mix of different subjects there. Okay. So if you have questions about this, or you just want to tell me what your opinion is, give us a call at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And Anita did leave us a message because we were having trouble connecting. And she said she thinks it's a danger to families and children and businesses because it's lenient on theft. And I would agree with that, I guess, because I would worry if my grandmother was in the mall with her big purse. I would worry that somebody would just take it from her. And all the small mom and pop businesses, I worry about them too, about damage done, or people just going in and taking things, stealing from that business. You can't run a business if you can't sell your stuff. So we're talking about the city, San Antonio, proposed amendments to the city charter. And it's because of the home rule. We talked about that. I wanted to go back and go through these one by one. So the first thing would include hiring a new justice director. And I got a message from one of my listeners about this, and his opinion was that there's already oversight of the police department, and so if you add another person, it's just a waste of money. And there's already too much bureaucracy and too much wasteful spending, and this would just add to it. And the city police are already governed by laws put out by the state. And even on the City of San Antonio's website, it says that the San Antonio Police Department is already in compliance with the state law on chokeholds and no-knock warrants. And so if the people that are interested in getting the amendment passed is really concerned about this, they need to go to the state legislature and ask for those laws to be changed. Tell me what you think. Give us a call here at 9:30 a.m. The Answer, Talk Law Radio. Call us at 210-308-8867. I got a message from a former deputy of the sheriff's department who just said, "That's ridiculous. I voted against it." If you have an opinion, you can also leave a comment on Facebook. We're on Facebook Live. And later we'll be on podcasts and on YouTube. We break the program up into 10-minute segments on YouTube. So if you miss part of the show, you can always go to YouTube and watch the segments that you missed. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just search YouTube for Talk Law Radio and look for my face. And also get alerts so that you know when new videos are being published. Talked about how it got on the ballot. Talked a little bit about the Supreme Court message, or the Supreme Court decision there. But just in case you haven't heard my show before, I graduated from St. Mary's University School of Law with a Juris Doctor degree, and graduated before that from New Mexico State University with a Bachelor of Arts in Government and Law and Society. I've been building my own small business for the last 12 years. Been practicing here in San Antonio for 16 years. I'm the CEO, CFO, managing attorney. I focus on elder law and business law, real estate law. My law partner, Daniel Palmer, he's the chief culture officer, and he focuses on estate planning. He does some probate and guardianship. We have 3 other attorneys that focus on probate and guardianship of incapacitated persons. And I know that I and Daniel Palmer, at least, study double the required continuing education required by the State Bar of Texas. Some personal things about me. I'm married, have 3 kids. I'm from New Mexico, but I love San Antonio. I had an opportunity to move back home. I had a job offer there that I declined. I wanted to live here in San Antonio, and it was harder to find a job because there's so many lawyers back in 2006. But I made my own position. I practiced on my own, serving indigent clients in the criminal courts for a little while, and then I joined an attorney who was a solo practitioner, and I helped him by answering the phone. I was the receptionist, the legal assistant, the paralegal, and the associate attorney, all 3 in one. And I helped him grow his business, and I asked him if he wanted to own a business with me, and he said no. And so I started my own law firm again. I've been doing that ever since. I've been doing Talk Law Radio for almost 4 years. At the end of July, I think that's my anniversary date. My best friend is a dog named Lexi. She's here with me. Whenever I start talking, she falls asleep. I admit it's not my most macho characteristic. And the most fun thing that I do every week is talk about the law on the radio, KLUP 930 AM The Answer, Saturdays at 11 o'clock in the morning. And my pet peeve is that the United States has an obsession with political correctness and passing new laws and regulations when all we really need is God's Word, the Bible. That reminds me, there is a law that God gave us. It says, "Thou shalt not steal." And so how can we go to the city council and put something in the city charter that says it's still going to be against the rules to steal, but we're just going to give you a ticket? Well, we're here on Talk Law Radio, KLUP 930 AM The Answer, talking about Proposition A. Do you feel guilty when criminals get arrested, or do you think they should be given a ticket and released? We'll talk more. You can call our show at 210-308-8867. We'll be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 930 AM The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.